Hello and welcome. My name is Paweł Piwosz and you are listening to Last Week in IT, the weekly podcast. Together with my fantastic co-hosts, Jakub Siwiecki and Jan Mazurek, we'll give you our perspectives on recent news, events, announcements and many more. And we do it in our own style. Join us and enjoy the show.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to our next episode. And Jakub is speaking, and I would like to bring to our discussion today to the table one thought that is strictly connected with coding. Have you ever wondered how coding has transformed from being quite niche skill to becoming quite essential skill in digital era, which we can find everywhere? It's integral part of our daily lives. If you grab a smartphone, then you have some apps that someone wrote for you, for us. And writing a code plays a crucial role in shaping our reality. And I was wondering, what if I told you that coding as a skill won't be soon, I'm not sure when, but let's imagine that in 1 year, maybe, won't be limited to just tech enthusiasts or computer science professionals, and every kid, everyone will know how to code because maybe coding become more simple, or maybe coding will become one of the languages that we will learn during our studies or during our primary school time. Guys, what do you think about that?
So I have immediate thing in my head, so it's local stuff to our country, to Poland, but probably you remember this famous Polish actor Jerzy Sztur, who on one cabaret night or something like that had the song, and in the song he sang something like that everyone can sing but not everyone should. And here we have something similar, I would say. So yes, I can agree to some extent that this skill is important to, well, even if you write very simple formula in Excel, it is kind of coding, kind of, but still something, right? You need to understand the syntax, from where you get data, where you put this data, etc., etc. From different perspective. My kid right now at school had the Scratch as a programming, right? So it was not to learn them how to write the code, how to write the application, because Scratch is too simple for that. Well, you can write very simple application in Scratch. This is like a web browser tool where you have some blocks, and from these blocks you can build some actions. For example, you have like one character who is going around the field, meet some other character, have some interaction with this character, etc., etc. It's very simple stuff, but you have everything what we know from proper programming languages: loops, variables, data, etc., etc., etc. Everything is there. So even small kids are learning these skills. But the question is, to what extent we want to say, right? What is this level where everyone will need to understand coding, programming, and be able to
Okay, if you
program?
think about languages, they become more and more abstract, right? Like it's not assembler right now, currently, if you compare.
Unfortunately.
So if you think about languages, and with time, they will evolve and become more, let's say, coder friendly, user friendly, or more similar to language, probably. Or maybe tools like ChatGPT or something else will be involved, but it will become eventually simple. It will be simplified for someone who will write program X, Y, Z. So this is
That
I mean, in any case, if you will look at how the programming languages has evolved over the course of last years, you have now those creators that even can suggest you the syntax and make the programming even slightly easier. Now, I have a different perspective from, probably both of you, because despite the fact I had programming languages at the university, I was never too much interested in obtaining that particular skill, which sometimes is my regret till this day, and I probably could have spent more time dividing my attention to those subjects. And I have a couple of colleagues who are excellent programmers and developers right now. I decided to go on a different path, and I more went towards the soft skill and people skills. However, I already mentioned. Sorry, I agree with Pavel. What Pavel mentioned about the writing formulas in Excel, that every bit of code, every kind of bit of understanding, even how to read the code, can make it a bit easier, or make it, a bit can help you identify what can the program do, or can help you identify the benefits of a certain program. Now, is that needed for everyone? I believe no. Is it useful and helpful? I believe yes. And to give you like a allegory, let's say that you not necessarily need to know how the car engine works to drive the car, right? So you don't need to look what's under the bonnet. And when the check engine lights turns on your dashboard, you can just go and see that, okay, check engine, you open the hood, the engine is there, you check the engine. Some other people are more have a bigger approach towards technical aspects of how car works, and that can be helpful to identify what is not working with the car. I think that's kind of a good thing, that we can exchange skills, exchange experience, and you cannot be good at everything. Yes, it can be useful, and I guess with time, like you mentioned, that it can be like a other language that you can read, because another allegory, my sister graduated musical academy, and when she's looking at the sheets of notes, she already don't see the points, notes, and various different elements on the lines, but she can already hear the melody in her head, because she became so proficient in reading the notes that she already envisions the melody. And I think with practice, that can be the same thing for programming languages.
And it is really, because, for example, if you are a mathematician, um, it's the same, right? But here we are going into a very dangerous zone, I believe, because we simplify the programming languages to create more automation-ready data from it, logs, connectivity between applications, etc., etc., etc. We go into direction that we don't need to read it. Machine should do it, not us. But in the same way, in the same time, we are going into opposite direction with coding. And well, let me be blunt, because we have so many, programming bootcamps where you attend because the marketing leaflet said that after 2 weeks you will be the best programmer in the world.
Weren't you?
And in fact, I can send to you after this
Send it to
recording.
Jan, because
Um,
he read that. So 2 weeks, Jan, two
Yeah,
yes, we
weeks.
yeah.
can do that. Yeah.
Well, that's the interesting. Sorry, Paul, to cut you off for a second, but this is an interesting thing. As a trainer, I received an offer to join a company as a trainer, as a part-time job, to help clients of that company to upskill them to become testers, BAs, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was that you need to come up with your own training program that in
Mhm.
6 weeks will transform the people into BAs, for example, or to testers. And I told the people in that company, said, from my experience, even to help people understand basic concepts, I need at least 3 months of
Yep.
regular meetings. And they told me, oh, no, 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 3 months, no one would pay for such a long course. So we would not be interested in cooperation with you. I was like, okay. So sometimes it's more about the business side of it
Yes, that is true.
than about
Um,
actually helping people
The problem is that I led the DevOps Academy, right? And this program was 4 months long, and try to teach others to be DevOps in 4 months. Good luck with that. So this is like a touching the, let's say, surface of the topic, right? With programming languages, it's maybe a little bit easier, a little bit, because you are touching one main technology and couple supportive technologies. With DevOps, it's definitely harder because you have a lot of technologies around. But anyway, all those boot camps where they promise that you will, receive the first paycheck in like $1,000 when you finish this 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks boot camp. This is just simple bullshit. Let be not afraid to say that this is bullshit, and you will not be a programmer after 2, 4 weeks, or even 8 weeks, right? You can say you touch the topic. And now, important thing is that here we can differentiate the languages. But I believe you may disagree with me. So let me come to the next point after your disagreement.
So I have a question about, you will not become, expert or great programmer, developer after some time. But there are those people who at the age of 25, 26 years old, they already have the title of lead software engineer or solution architect, right? That's kind of like, I don't know, maybe I'm just old fashioned, but I'm thinking, okay, maybe if in your high school or throughout your university, like, okay, I have a colleague who, in his high school, he was writing thesis for other students from computer science, and he was writing programs for other students, right? And that was his way of earning money. But those people are one in a 10,000, 100,000, maybe, right? So that's why I'm kind of resistance towards believing that you need to gain some experience really to have this lead title, lead experience.
I believe I feel what you mean, because being close to 50, I have sometimes the same feeling. I know young people who are really good in what they do, and they deserve their places where they are in age of 25, 27, because they are doing really, really good job. However, this element of being lead, being architect, etc., is tough, because this is a similar topic to the certifications somehow. This position should come to the picture with your experience, and with experience with different project, different type of work, different people you work with different experiences in the hard areas and soft areas. So the question is, if you are 2 years after the university, what kind of experience in these areas you've got, right? Because simple stupid Scrum training is 1 week long, and after this one training you have 51 weeks left in the year, plus vacations, etc. It gives you maximum 1 year where you can collect this experience. Is this possible to be proper Scrum Master? It's not possible.
At the same time, remember that Scrum Guide is 40 pages long, so you cannot make a longer training than 1 week. I mean, making a 1 week training out of 40 pages book, it's already kind of pushing it. But I know what you mean.
Some extremely important and difficult equations in physics or mathematics, are they like whole book long? No, they are not, right? But they're extremely important, and in order to understand them, first you need to understand some deeper knowledge to possess understanding of how to use it and why they're in this shape or not in different shape.
The problem here is like this: you can just play around in very, very simple pool where the depth is like 1 meter, and you can play with there, have laugh, everything is fine, no one will be hurt. But then there is also this deep, like 11 kilometers, right, where the swimming there is a little bit more tricky. The point is that different projects, different type of work, different programming languages, different problems here are completely well, different. And now it's something else to being a programmer who is programming buttons of the web page presenting cats, and being a programmer who is developing embedded software for autonomous cars or space probe, right? This is
Or
completely
financial
different.
transactions, dealing with hundreds of millions of
Exactly.
dollars, right?
Or for
But
hospitals.
but
Yeah.
actually, what kind of amazes me, I mean, of course, I haven't read all of the books. I just have 3 or 4 of them. One about C sharp, one about C++, one about something. Maybe one day I will read those
I don't know
books.
this language something, but maybe I'm not that good, man.
But what amazes me is in all of those books that I have about programming skills is the author is writing, I assume by now you already know at least one programming language.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't. I want to learn where to start. I mean, give me a book where I can.
Programming for dumb.
Dear listeners,
Probably that would be a nice beginning.
But they have also an
Okay.
assumptions already, right? That you are
yeah.
dumb and yeah.
Dear listeners, if you know any materials, any books, any training programs or YouTube tutorials where someone can learn programming from scratch and someone who is kind of resistant towards programming like myself, then please leave a comment, let us know. I would like to try
Um,
one day to actually upskill
if
myself in
there's
that
I
area.
send you the
Scratch,
link,
yes.
Scratch.
Like I wanted to suggest that you can ask Pavel's kid because
Yeah. But this is the point. So programming itself may look easy, right? That it's not complicated, it's not problematic. You can very easily write some function which do the sum of two numbers very easily. But if the situation expects from you to have proper performance, to have proper security, to have proper data transformation, to have all those aspects which distinguish bad applications from really good applications, it can be done only with proper experience and proper tooling, right? And this kind of 2, 3, 4, 5 months boot camps will give you understanding of on how deep water you are, but still it doesn't give you the ability to dive really deep there, right? You are still on the surface. You need another programs, another learnings to go deeper and deeper and deeper and
and
deeper.
that reminds me after I graduated mentoring about big data. It took me many days and nights and weekends and so on. Hard work.
14?
Pardon?
14
14.
or 21?
21 each day,
Okay.
hours each day. And I remember that I thought that I, I know something, not that everything, but I know something. And then I entered the first project, and like what what is happening? They're like and that showed me how much gaps I still have. And I think that refers exactly to what you said, that even knowing some practical, some having some experience from boot camps, from some training, having some knowledge, definitely it's very useful. Definitely it's worth to possess such things, because this helps you to upskill. But then comes the real training, the real life.
Real life.
And this is where complicated things are happening. All kinds of those things that you were even not aware that they exist, and this is the hard part. Because if you
And you need to combine.
exactly, if you know that you know something, probably there's like many things that you're even not aware that you don't know them.
Yes.
So how to
We had in my first office, we had a picture which stated something like that. Theory is that when nothing works, but everyone knows why. Practice is when everything works, but no one knows why. But in our office, we combine those two things. Nothing works and no one knows why.
And
And this is the reality. Yeah.
okay, so I think with that said, I think we can sum up that it's good to know. It's good to know why it doesn't work, probably. But to be more frank and putting jokes aside, it's good to learn. And probably even after 1 year of experience, 2 years of experience, you still have something that you can learn. So being humble and learning, I think that could be some kind of guideline to be better in whatever you're planning to do or you're doing when it comes to your career. So not titles, not diplomas, but your knowledge and your skills. This is something that no one will take it, even it won't terminate probably.
And in this graceful way, we didn't answer to the question if everyone will be the programmer soon or not. And yep, because this is impossible to answer, I think. So, what we have to say on the end. Thank you very much for listening to this episode and see you next week.
Take care. Bye bye.
And that's it for today. This was Last Week in IT. Thank you for listening and please join us for the next episode. Follow us on social media, subscribe and comment. If you agree, disagree, or just want to say hello, we are waiting for you. Stay tuned, stay IT.